Hey everybody, got a little story to tell you. Made a mistake the other day when I was sawing on this. Okay, I took the cap off here first. It's laying right down here, and then I ended up taking 3 more slices off. And this is maxing out the saw from here to the other side. I actually had to trim just a little bit right here, and just a tiny bit on the other side, just to make sure the saw would pass through here. All right, it barely makes it. This is a very wide saw, but anyway, I was going to take a short break. I started to walk up to the house. I got about halfway up there and thought, you know what? I left those 2 drippers turned on there that lubricate the blade. They only drop about 1 drop per second of diesel fuel onto the blade. But one time last fall, I accidentally left that on. I was planning on coming down later that, an hour or 2 later, and something happened. We got sidetracked. I didn't get out here for 2 or 3 days after that. I had a big old mess down here with sawdust, with diesel fuel all soaked in it, and it was just a mess. So I thought I better turn around, come back down, shut those off so that I don't get sidetracked again. Shut them off, went up there, ended up just having a quick snack and glass of water, and came back down here and started to saw up, started cutting. Sounded a little bit funny. Didn't pay much attention. I didn't think the blade was used enough to be too dull yet. Sounded a little funny, made a little noise, and just long story short, the reason it was making noise is because I forgot to turn my lubrication back on. So then the sawdust builds up on the blade, makes more friction, gets it hot, makes weird noises, and makes it not cut flat. Take a look at this here. That is ugly. What happened is it started cutting here, but between sawdust building up on it and everything, it just started climbing. So it climbs, it gets higher. This is the height the cut was supposed to be at, and it started climbing uphill. Well, it gets just so far, and it's stretching that blade so tight that it actually forces it back down. Well, then when it goes back down, it goes back down probably a little too far. And then it starts getting tight again, so it tries to level itself back out, comes back up. It would keep doing that all the way down the log if you had a big long log. So that is one ugly cut. I mean, it's a smooth cut, but it's ugly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down about 3/4 of an inch and make a cut all the way across here. My mistake, pilot error, I did it. And I'm owning up to it because, it'd be really easy to cover stuff like this up on YouTube so nobody sees that you made a mistake or anything. But the way I look at it is, maybe somebody out there is running a sawmill. Maybe they just got one and aren't used to doing it. And this is a easy mistake to make. And maybe it'll get them to think about it before they try to run it without their lubrication turned on. And maybe you'll keep somebody else from making the same mistake as I did. So we're going to fix this and move on through this log, and then this belongs to Kevin. That big 9-foot long, 9.5 foot long white oak that came off the other end of this. This was all part of one big long thing. It was like over 15 feet before. So we're going to get that piece up here probably next. So let's see if we got a nice flat cut here. This thing here, the top side of it looks like a potato chip. But, ooh, look at that. Tell me that's not a nice wide slab. Of course, this is just a thin piece, but those slabs are going to make cool tabletops. Don't know if it's going to be perfectly flat or not. There's lots of knots in there, and knots make harder places where it wants to climb up and down over them a little bit. By golly, that don't look too bad. Tell you what, though, there's not a lot of saw chatter like you see in a lot of saws. I'm really happy with this Cook's. It's a SW52 is what they call it, which stands for super wide, 52 inch. So 52 inch wide. Then I had him build the frame extra long. I can cut a 30-foot log on here. But yeah, this one's flattened out now. We can go on to the next one. The one that's on the forks there, I don't know if that'll get done today or not. I got to flip it upside down on here and flatten that off just like we did on here. So onward and upward, or downward. Hey guys, Looks like I'm going to have to clean a little bit more of this bark off here. I wiped this off pretty good here, but last cut I made when I wanted to flatten this out, it flattened out pretty good, but it's not perfectly flat. And I'm used to perfectly flat on this thing. It's always cut so good unless you have a dull blade on there. And that's a brand new blade. And I still got a little bit of this going on. Not a lot, but I'm thinking we're pulling some of this dirt that was on here back into the cut. I've got the other side I got to clean off a little more too. I'm going to clean some more of that off. I know that dirt doesn't help any at all, so we'll clean some of that off before we try the next cut. Oops. Okay, guys, I got most of it off this side. Just a little bit down here on the bottom yet, but yeah, that'll all be on the lower cap. We'll flip that part over when we do the last cut down there, probably. I think that's plenty good for now. Main thing, a lot of this stuff captures crud inside of there that kind of like dirt and rocks, especially where these holes are. Sometimes I can get a lot of stuff in them that can dull your blade. This baby here, I got to get that top slab off of there and finish slicing it up. I ran into problems with that because it's maxing out the width of the saw, and when I max out the width on that roller guide down there, it actually pulls the blade away from the wiper, which lubricates the blade and cleans the sawdust off. So I think I might have a solution to that. Judy bought me a squirt bottle. I'm going to put some transmission fluid in it and squirt a little bit of that on there while I'm cutting through. Turning on the grippers. That was on the infeed side. We got another one over here on the outfeed side. Problem is with the super wide stuff though. Oh, looks like I might be. No, I guess that's just water. I thought I had oil leaking out of there at first. I'm going to show you guys what one of my issues was when I was cutting on this thing before. The problem is when I open up this guide roll way open like this, and then once I lock the thing down into position, I actually have to open up a little bit more before I miss the edge of this wood here. When I lock that down, it presses downward on this blade here, which is good. Keeps the blade straight, flat, horizontal, everything like that. But the problem is it lowers the blade below, the blade is actually below the wiper here. You see where there's a little air gap in there. Anyway, that wiper blade is made to wipe diesel fuel on the blade here, keeps the sawdust from building up. You know, if it wipes the sawdust off while it's doing it, keeps the blade cool, clean. Now it's not wiping on there. So, that one over there will still be wiping on there, but I need to get some diesel fuel or automatic transmission fluid in my squirt bottle so I can be squirting some on there while I'm sawing. I think I just figured out something I can do to help a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. When I tighten that blade down, or not the blade, but the blade guide roller here, I tighten this down, push that blade down far enough that it's actually not parallel to my cut now. The blade is actually touching wood on this side, and it's 18 inches or so above the wood on that side. So I'm thinking maybe I can loosen this up here knob right here that holds that guide. When I loosen this, the guide comes up in the air. I'm thinking I can loosen this, and I can put me a little shim right in here where that crack is. And when I tighten it up, it'll keep this side down, or it'll actually force this bar here to go like this a little bit, which should level it up to my cut now. I've never had this problem before until I tried sawing something that absolutely maxes out the saw. What I've got here got me a washer. I'm going to try to set that right there. Actually, it's going to slide under there a little bit, like so. Then when I tighten it up, that should help that be more parallel there. Let's get you guys kind of in line with this a little bit, see if we can catch what I'm trying to do here. Okay, the blade's tight on this side and loose on this side. So if I put that shim in there, we'll see if that kind of changes things a little bit. Try to get you a little better view here. Okay, so the blade is actually just about right at cut height there, and above cut height there. So put that shim in there, see if we can bring that up to where it needs to be. Okay, let's check that out. See, I got the washer in there, got the handle tightened up here, and when I tightened it, this tube stayed down because of the shim. This bolt pushed the tube up. This side over here is not shimmed back here. Not shimmed, so hold it up like that. So let's see what we got here. Okay, so now we are just about, okay, we're just barely above cut height there. And just barely above cut height there too. So we're not perfect, we're pretty darn close. That's a lot better. See what we can do here. Now what we gotta do is we gotta travel the saw down farther to see how far out we gotta have that guide roll to miss that part of the stump over there where it sticks out right there. Right now, this guide block right there, that's gonna hit. So we gotta look at that. Let's turn it slow across here a little bit. Right now the bolt on the bottom, the guide block's almost hitting. The bolt on the bottom of the guide block is going to hit. So we need to back that out a little bit more. See this bolt right under here? That's going to hit this as I travel forward. So I got to pull that guide roller back a little bit more and make sure I keep the shim in there. Watch when I back this off. Let's that come up. Okay. And back this out a little bit more. Shim back in place. Let's see if that gets us close. I don't know if it's still going to hit. We're going to move ahead real slow here and check it out. Slow her down a little more here. Yep. So far it's still going to hit. So, let me look at the other side once. That thing is so big and heavy it's hard to maneuver. I actually could take it to the west, which is the opposite side here, an inch or so. I could slide this whole thing here, which still probably weighs 1,500 pounds or more, that way, an inch or so. I can still take this block over farther, but the less distance you have between these guides, the stiffer that blade is going to be. So I hate, every time I'm scooching it farther apart, allows more bow or flex in the blade. But again, it's hard to move something that heavy, that little bit, and still keep it on the same plane. Anytime you unclamp things and try to move it a little bit, there's a chance you might not be on the same plane with the blade when you're done. Now what do we got? What do we got here? It might slip by there. You guys can probably see it better than I can right now. Let's see here. Now it looks like we're going to miss by 3/6, quarter of an inch. We're missing by a quarter of an inch right there. Let's see if it misses all the way down or if it's going to change a little. Actually, looks like we're getting a little farther away. We're down there, now we've got 3/8, 7/16 of an inch. Cool. And we got a half-inch gap there, maybe even 9/16. So that's good. Good. Now, that is some pretty green. I think Kevin's going to be real happy with that. Got that little mark from the saw where I had to stop the saw to move the block out farther. But that would sand right out. Look at this grain here, guys. It's beautiful grain here. I mean, look at this right through here. All that figure in there. I should pour some water on there. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get me some water and pour it on here so you guys can see how good this looks. That shows what it's going to look like with a finish on it. But before we do that, let's check out, see how flat we came out, okay? Let's check that out. Okay, here you go. The moment of truth. Not bad. Not bad at all. We're probably 1/16 of an inch high here and here, which would let everything level right out. Not bad. It's hard to keep the blade tight enough to stay totally flat. I tried to run slow enough so that it not try to climb or dive. So here's Mama Robin sitting on the nest in the sawmill. They were getting a little nervous while I was sawing. They were fluttering around here and everything. Now I know why. So we're going to get some water on this thing and see if we can show you a good video of how beautiful that grain is. Might even have to edit out part of this with me spreading the water around, but man, that wood is just, this is what it would look like if we had clear coat on these slabs. Kevin's a lucky guy, man. This stuff is beautiful. There, now, let me stand up so I can get you a better overall view here. See if I can see what I'm doing here. There, look at that. It's 5 foot long from that end down to this end. And I measured it sideways. I think it's like 50 inches wide from there over to here. Look at that grain. I mean, you can see right here, the crotch figure in there. And the prettiest one is right over here, right down through here. And then you've got the place where little limbs used to be, all little knots and everything. That is going to be one beautiful tabletop. You can see where I had to stop the saw. See a line across here. I can't see my lens, but anyway, there's a black line across there. That's where I had to stop the saw because the block was hitting over here on the side. So I had to move it out a little bit more so it would go past this edge here. Wow, that's beautiful. Get the sawmill fired back up, finish this thing up so we can get it off the mill. But I just wanted you guys to see that. That's one of the best parts about running a sawmill is finding the beauty inside of these things. Look how ugly that thing looks from the outside. You know, just an ugly old hunk of wood, ugly old hunk of log. And to think you could make tabletops that look like that, you know, that's just gorgeous. Oh, there's Mr. or Mrs. Robin wanting back in there. You can go back in there for a little while. I'll let you. You just picked a bad place. I can't quit sawing because you want to hang around. Man, oh man. You don't think it could get any prettier, and you make another cut and it's at least as pretty, if not prettier. This whole area right like from probably here to here is just going to be beautiful. Without the water on there, it's not quite as visible, but you can tell that it's just beautiful green. Like I said, same thing. You got this area here with all the crotch figure and this area here with all the crotch figure. And just plain beautiful. Well, I decided to go ahead and pour water on it anyway. It's just too pretty to, you don't get them look like this every day. See if I can get you set up decent here. There. Now, the wind don't blow that around too much because you're sticking up 6.5 feet tall there. Get this off of here. We'll get the wedges driven in there in a minute, but let me dump this water on there and show you what we're looking at here. Boy, that's just hard to resist when you got a piece of wood like this. Pouring that water on there just brings it right out. Like I said, makes it look like you put some polyurethane on it or something. There, now look at it compared to that last shot I gave you with no water on it. There, look how pretty that is. Even out there on the sides. I'm standing up here on top of these crossbars, so I'm a little shaky here, but it's just so pretty. Okay, folks. Hey, while I'm thinking about it, if you like videos like this, please subscribe and share them with a friend. Tell some friends about it that like sawmill stuff, woodworking. Help me out here if you can. Thanks for watching, and gosh, I hope you like this. There'll be a little bit more to this video, but this is just beautiful. Okay, I'll let you go. I'm going to finish sawing this thing up, and then we'll wind this video up. Hope you're having a great day. I am. Boy. What do you think, guys? Should we throw water on another top and see what it looks like? Or is it, you seen one, you seen them all? You know, Mother Nature's fantastic. God makes some beautiful stuff, and none of them are exactly alike, you know. Even just from slice to slice, it changes. Kind of like a fingerprint. 130-year-old tree. Yeah, what the heck? Don't get them every day. Let's throw some more water on it. There. Get up here where we can see. Maybe I can, as long as I stand up careful and don't like fall off my perch here. So if I can back you out just a little bit, get you a better full view. Man, oh man. Isn't that gorgeous? Changes with every slice. Starting to get a tiny bit of a void right over here. Looks like there's a tiny bit of a void right. Where am I looking here? Right there. It's got sawdust in it right now. I'm getting a little bit of a void over here on the edge. All adds character though. You can pour epoxy in there. You can put, you know, it's really cool. On one thing I made, I put some Petoskey stones in a void and clear coated over it. It was really cool. But anyway, that's what she's going to look like. Look at that stuff. That grain just gorgeous. Okay, I'll shut up now. On to the next one. By the way, guys, that last grain I showed you where I just poured the water on it again. That's going to be slab number 7. That piece we just looked at. I'm going to go ahead and write it on there right now. Okay, guys. Get this thing cleaned off a little bit here. I was just up at the house talking to Judy for a minute. I left my microphone up there, so I got to talk a little louder to you guys, or walk back up there and get it. Been a long day, but a good day. Hope you enjoyed the videos. Please share these with your friends. We appreciate your help. We appreciate you watching, and we appreciate your comments too. We're enjoying life and enjoying the journey. Thanks for watching, and please tune in again. Please leave us a comment if you could. Give us a thumbs up if you like them, and subscribe if you're not, and tell your friends so they might want to subscribe. Thanks. Catch you later. Bye.